Now, somebody got to tell me, because I want to know. If we watch sports and we understand things in sports, somebody got to tell me, right? What's the difference between Kevin Durant playing with Kyrie Irving and the difference between him playing with Westbrook? Now, I don't give a fuck about the get along shit because guess what? You work for an organization and the idea is the bottom line. That's just like at any job because that's what it is. So when you look at how when he played with Kyrie Westbrook, they got at least to the Western Conference Finals, and they almost took out a 73-9 team. And people forget also that the Oklahoma City Thunder used to beat the San Antonio Spurs when they had Kawhi Leonard with Duncan and all of them. Oklahoma City used to beat them. They used to beat them like more than it was. They used to beat them. So it was teams that couldn't beat them, like Golden State. They couldn't beat the Spurs like that. They would have tried, but they couldn't do it. So Kevin Durant was on a team that could beat a Popovich Spurs with Duncan and all of them on it, and take a team that's 73-9 to Game 7, which they should have beat them because they was 3-1, to a team. We ain't gonna go to Golden State because that was just a gimme. You go to the Nets, and you go to the Nets, and they ain't doing nothing. So then you start flashing back going, man, I remember when he was with Oklahoma City, and it was just him and Westbrook, and they was beating West Coast teams. West Coast teams, a lot more offensive minded and better. So tell me what's the difference? What did he do? He did go full circle because the shit isn't making sense. Like, okay, yeah, you were with OKC, and the only reason why you got titles is because you added your jump shot and your fadeaway to a good team, a Golden State. You just added that shit to it. Anybody could have done that. You could have put anybody on that team. Let me tell you something about Golden State too. Golden State is an equal opportunist team, which means they allow people to shine on their squad. They allow them to shine. So Kevin Durant is no different than Iguodala. It's just that he was in the starting lineup. I mean, I'm just trying to, because I'm looking at it like Iguodala got the Finals MVP when he was with Golden State. He got the Finals MVP. So Kevin Durant got the Finals MVP when he was with that. Steph Curry is coming off the bench and letting Jordan Poole. They give people opportunity to shine, nigga, because they that good. They that good. They gonna give you you go to a team like that, and then of course you gonna win. You could beat anybody that know how to hoop and go to that team and win. He could have been let me see. Let me look and see who he could have been. He could have been Paul George. They had put Paul George on Golden State, they would have still won that shit. He would have been Finals MVP. You understand what I'm saying? They could have put Kawhi Leonard on there. He would have been Finals MVP. Curry and them like, go ahead, nigga. We pass. We're going to shoot the threes. You going to do the thing. When we get the title, I don't give a fuck about all that shit. So what I'm saying is you go to that team, you more than likely going to be a success. You go to any other team, you got to make, because it's not designed the same or whatever. You got to make your way. And he can't do that. And a lot of players can't do that. That's when you better go and Golden State. Is that where everybody got to go? You know what I'm saying? It don't make no sense. So when people go there, yeah, they become MVP. So it ain't no shock that he became that. Jordan Poole looking like an MVP. Ain't no shock that this nigga Kevin Durant did an MVP over there. I mean, look at the culture. So the whole thing is people, they swindlers. They get over on you and you don't see how they doing it. Then they win the title and go, yeah. But that shit was bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Just like when people say LeBron James did all that shit, he went to the Miami. But yeah, I don't really like LeBron all that time. I like that much. But in his defense, if Boston Celtics wouldn't have never got their super team, he wouldn't have never done that shit. So Boston Celtics to calm down with that shit because that's what they did. But so you get a fucking, and you tell me Boston Celtics, and I covered this before, the Boston Celtics wasn't a super team when all three of them in the top 75. All three of them in top Hall of Famers. And you put them all on the same team. All three of them were the rulers of their team. All three of them were the man on their team. Kevin Durant was the man. Kevin Garnett was the man in Minnesota. He was the star. Ray Allen was the star of the Supersonics, Seattle Supersonics, which turned to the Oklahoma City Thunder. and motherfucking Paul Pierce was the star of the goddamn Celtics. So each of them was a star on their own team. Makes them a super team when you put them together. That's why they called them the Big Three. And then you sit up there and get mad because LeBron went to Miami and did that. Get the fuck out of here. You know it's Boston. Shut the fuck up. So at the end of the day, if you can't win just with just you and somebody else, shut up. You super teamed it, nigga. Fuck. This is what it is. Fuck that. All these old sugarcoating and stuttering before you say it. The niggas bullshitting with the super teams. Boston first, nigga. Boston first. But anyway, after all of that, you see how the whole league got shook up. It ain't been the same. So Boston did that. It ain't no LeBron did nothing. If they would have just Paul Pierce, you stay your ass over there and you stay your ass over there, maybe the thought wouldn't have came through nobody's head to be doing all this. But they started that shit, Joe Yee. Fuck they talking about?